Hello and welcome back to my series in Factorio in which I'm attempting to build my very first mega factory. My name is Azrael. Come along with me as we continue our adventure. Now the first thing we want to do is sort out the green circuit shortage that I'm experiencing throughout the factory, and I've traced it down to the fact that my circuit facility is just not getting enough copper. And that's because only half of it is actually being diverted up there, and then so when the copper comes out of those two double columns of furnaces, they go right into circuit. Everything else is just sort of sitting there doing mostly nothing. So I went ahead and did a 4-lane or a 4-belt balancer to get it all up there, or at least have the potential to go up there. And I also have some green circuits just sitting here in my junk pile doing absolutely nothing. So I set up a little bit of a chest to feed those in. And now I'm up here just fixing up some of these branching points for the first of all the miscellaneous facility, so that it's not hogging 2 lanes worth of green circuits when it's especially not doing anything with them. And I'm going to do the same thing over here with the red circuits. So now everything flows northward a little bit more easily. Now the main thing that I want to be doing, the priority of today's episode, is going to be setting up a new copper facility, because that is one of the biggest bottlenecks that we have right now. We're just not getting very much throughput there because we only have one active copper mine and one train servicing that copper mine. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a second one, and just kind of balancing out how this new circuit box is feeding onto the master bus. Anyway, heading over here, this is going to be the new copper site. I'm going to clear out some of the nosy neighbors first of all. Get rid of some biter nests over here. This copper deposit is about the same size as the one that we're currently tapping. So ideally, this can double our output. Just want to finish getting these guys out of the way. And yeah, it's been a while since I've been in Factorio. I've been a little distracted with a few other games, but yeah, I just a quick crash course in how to deal with a biter nest with the flamethrower, and all is once again well. I'm going to put these mining drills down in as uniform of a pattern as I can possibly get them to be. But of course I don't have enough of them in my inventory to cover the entire spot of this. But I think I can make do with this for now. I'm going to go ahead and set up the station over here, because I always forget to put the tracks down first, and then I build a loading station that's just one tile away from where the tracks can be put. It's always that issue where tracks can only be put down in a 2-tile grid, so you always want to make sure that you're putting them, or you're lining things up with the tracks and not the other way around. And again, I cannot build an actual station in my inventory, so I make do with a rail signal that helps me to organize these loading areas. All right, that should do it for now. Now it's just a matter of powering everything up. All right, and the long-range power pole just can't quite reach both of those sections, so I'll deal with that later. And yeah, some short-range, or actually those are medium-range power poles. That solves the issue quite nicely. Then I run down here to the main rail line and add a T-junction, so that we can get some trains up in here. And then right on the northern end, I'll put up a little circle so that trains can turn around. Alright, that functionally creates a station. Well, except for the fact that I don't actually have a station in place. But I've got the workings, the trappings. Now it's just time to put a big wall around here. Alright, I want to make sure that I have enough room between the copper deposit and the wall to also put in some defenses. And I run out of wall segments in my inventory, so I'll have to come back and finish that later. I just want to get some gates down there, and then some defenses around the perimeter. Now I'm also kind of low on armor-piercing rounds, so I'm going to space these out just a little bit. And I'm going to focus primarily on the northern part of the wall, because that's where the most danger lies. And as you can see, I'm running ridiculously low. I'm actually having to steal ammunition from my own personal supply. But that's okay. I really don't use the submachine gun very much anymore. It's basically just flamethrower when I can, and shotgun when I don't want to burn everything down. Now, I also noticed that my light oil to petroleum gas cracking plants are not adequate to the task. I realize that I have violated the golden ratio of advanced oil processing, and that is usually where you have multiples of 5 refineries, 1 heavy to light oil cracking, and then 7 light oil to petroleum. And since I put speed modules in my, I think, 8 or 6 refineries, it's all sorts of chaos at the moment. And suffice it to say, alright, we have 1 research technology left there, just to sidetrack there for a little bit. Anyway, I've thrown the entire ratio of oil production out of whack, so I'm going to have to do something about that in the near future. In the meantime, I'm going to add some more light oil to petroleum cracking plants to try to keep up with the excess, because at the moment not all of my refineries are even firing, so I gotta set this up. I decided to blueprint this little section of pipes up here, make this work a little bit easier, and then of course realized that it was missing a vital component, so I gotta go back in and add that in manually. Alright, now it's time to tell them what to do and give them power to do it. And there we go. That seems to be working alright. Put some lights in there to make sure it's not completely dark all the time. Alright, now I'm going to get back to what I was doing over here in the copper mine, because I would like to have this actually functional. I realize I forgot to pick up more wall segments, but I did craft up a few more mining drills. I'm going to go ahead and put them down. Get another row in place, and the beginnings of a 4th row. And then I also ran out of express belts in my inventory, so I'm going to have to go back. But before I do that, I'm going to put down some more power to make sure everything is actually working. And once again, trundling back to the factory, pick up some stone along the way, and then almost forget to leave, or to pick up the construction robot. I always forget that they come back to you to recharge first, and then to dock into your personal roboport. If you let them do one but not the other, they'll still get left behind. So I don't want to have that happen. Alright, I'm picking up the express belts. I'm going to remember to move over here and pick up the wall segments that I need. And just to make sure I have enough ammunition, I'm going to pick up as much as I can carry. And we're going to head back out there. Alright, all the refining plants are firing now. They're refining, I guess, would be the proper verb to use there. Anyway, alright, we closed up the wall. We're going to finish up the belts, get everything working. Alright, now everything is moving really slow because my power is just absolutely terrible. You can tell by the fact that the lights that I'm putting down here aren't even lighting up the area very well. But get the train stop in place, get it named properly, and I'm going to take this one train over here that was servicing Copper Mine 01 and repurpose it up to serve Copper Mine 0.3. Okay. 03, you know what I'm talking about. Alright, here it comes. And there it is, pulling into the station. All is well. It's going to start delivering that, and everything will be cool. Now I just want to finish up putting a perimeter around here. I almost got run over by the train, but it probably wouldn't have killed me because I've got all the shields in my power armor. I might have even gotten that one achievement that states basically let yourself get hit by a train and survive. Oh well, I'm not going to go tempting fate with that sort of thing. That's kind of something you want to avoid as much as possible, getting hit by a train in the game as well as real life. That's just good advice to follow. Anyway, alright, we're back here in the main factory. I noticed that biters have moved right back into all the area that I cleared out before, so it was almost as if I didn't do anything. We finished the entire research tree, got the achievement for that. Alright, which means that my science facility is completely unnecessary for the moment, so I'm just going to power it down for the time being and make sure it's not siphoning off any of those precious electronic circuits or advanced circuits. Even though nothing north of here is currently using advanced circuits, so it's just going to dead end right here for the time being. Fix that up to make it look a little nicer. Alright. And I don't know why they keep getting emptied on only one side of the belt, but that also means that I can put my alien artifacts over here into the module facility, upgrade some of those inserters to move a little more quickly. Alright, before I go setting up a new solar facility, or at least expanding upon the one that I've currently got, I really want to get cracking on the defensive perimeter, which means I have to go on some pretty massive biter killing sprees. In order to do that, I'm going to need more flamethrower ammunition, and in order to do that, I need to put light and heavy oil onto the master bus. But I also noticed that there's an attack going on up here in the science facility, and I realized that it's because not only did I cut power to the facility, I cut power to its defenses. So that was not a good idea. I'm going to put that all back into place. It can just go ahead and produce whatever is left to produce for science packs. I'm sure there will eventually be more uses for them, even if the 0.15 update changes a lot of the recipes. It'll probably at least change over some of the already existing science packs over to the new types that they're going to be introducing. So it might as well. I don't see a problem with it using the resources that it already has. In the meantime, I'm just trying to get this done as quickly as I can. I'm trying to get the light and heavy oil up onto the master bus, and I realize that this little intersection right here is just not giving me enough room to do that. So I have to move some of the power poles around to give myself a little bit extra wiggle room. Alright, that should do it. Now I can I can finish moving these things up onto the master bus. And it's just a matter of kind of intertwining them between all of the obstacles, the power poles, the branches, everything like that. And it looks like we can do it. At least there's the heavy oil. Now I just got to go back and do the same thing for the light oil. But since I've already figured out the logistics of how to move them up there, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alright, there we go. Now I need to bring them over here to set up a flamethrower ammunition rack. In order to do that, I'm going to extend the existing rack over, which is nice and easy to do. And before I go setting that up, I'm going to have to actually bring the fluids down onto the main bus. of the military facility. So we're going to do that. I'm trying to figure out how to get them both to move over there. I realize that the best way to do this is to just have them separated by a little bit like that, and then just bring them over. And I've actually forgotten the pattern that I had set up, and of course I run out of underground pipe segments. So got to go over and pick up a few more of those and try to get this thing finished. Alright. Once again, trying to remain true to the pattern that I had established. It's just since this facility was set up with the more basic blueprint that did not include pipes, it just requires a little bit more thinking about it. Alright. Now we're going to set these up, and then of course I realized that flamethrower ammunition is not created in an assembly machine, it's created in a chemical plant. So I craft up a couple of those. And now it's just a matter of bringing the liquids up. Alright, try to remember the spacing that I had there. Alright, that works. Alright, and I want to have these output to a box between them, so I need 3 tile spaces so that I can do that. And I'm thinking I'm going to have the iron plates sneak up under the chemical plants and just feed them with an underground belt segment. But then I realized that in order to do that, I've set everything up 1 tile too far south. So I'm going to do that. There we go. That should work. And now I just got to get it. I want to make sure that I set up the pipes correctly, because you can't switch the inputs on these things. I don't know if they're planning on fixing that in the future, but for right now, I cannot do that unless, of course, I go out and find a mod. And I've already stated adamantly that I do not want to be using any mods for this this series. Anyway, we get that going, and it should be producing everything just fine. I also realized that a lot of my mining drills, since they have 3 module slots, it would be perfect for level 1 efficiency modules. If you stack 3 of them in there, you get I believe it's a 90% efficiency. Of course, it can only go up to 80, but this is pretty much as close as you're going to get. It's so much easier to just put 3 level 1s than even 2 level 2s that would get you the actual 80%. It requires a lot fewer resources, and you can build them faster. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to also set up a refueling box for my stone train, because as my suspicions have confirmed, the stone train has actually run out of fuel all the way down at the other end of this line, so I've got to run all the way back over here. There it is. Yep, with the fuel light blinking. And fortunately I had this box full of wood, which will give me at least a temporary fuel source. And I'm going to move these over to where it refuels the train as it's sitting in this station. I know that wood is not the greatest fuel. It burns rather quickly, and there it goes again. But it's better than nothing at the moment. Eventually I'll have a solid fuel delivery system that's fueling all of my stations. But for right now, it's not going to be too big of a deal to just use wood. And since I don't have a whole lot of time left in the episode, I'm just going to go north and clear biters away from the vertical lake over here, because eventually I do need to clear them all out of my territory, and this is as good a place as any to start, because I can use this lake as a nice little defensive perimeter without having to actually use walls. I'm going to go ahead and clear some of the worms with the shotgun, clearing them all out. And you can also see more of this bizarre border of terrain that happened when I upgraded from 0.12 to 0.13. It's just a perfectly vertical shoreline there. which is fine for everything I need. It creates a nice natural defensive boundary. I'm going to be extending the eventual defensive perimeter, the 3.0 or whatever it is I decided to call it now. It's going to extend around in a large square around the factory so that I can finally have room to just expand out without having to worry about annoying the neighbors. That's one of the things that's preventing me from expanding out into a true mega factory at the moment, is because there are just so many biters out there that are currently in my way to do that. So before I can truly call myself a mega factory, or a builder of a mega factory, because I am not actually the factory myself, I'm going to have to make sure that I can build without hassle. In order to assure that, I need to first take a great hassle and clear out all of these nests. So, we're just going to head out into some really deep nests full of biters. I mean, you can see how large these things actually are, taking several waves of them. But we have found the northern perimeter of the vertical lake, and it's just absolutely surrounded by biter nests. But the overpowered flamethrower makes short work of them. I'm driving up the evolution factor by nearly whole digits in the process. I know that's not technically accurate. It goes from 0 to 1, so whole digits would be going from 0 to 1. It's not like it goes to 2 or 3 or anything like that. But anyway, it was a nice little turn of phrase, picking up all these alien artifacts that I'm leaving behind and garnering a crowd of protesters in my wake. Anyway, there we go. And I'm going to call that the end of the episode. Thank you very much for tuning in today. My name is Azrael. Never stop building.